The Adventure of Tim and the Talking Tree. This story uses simple language and a clear narrative to engage beginners or learners looking to improve their conversational English. It introduces useful vocabulary and phrases related to nature, problem solving, and emotions, making it a fun and educational read. In a quiet village near the forest lived a boy named Tim. Tim was always curious and loved to explore the world around him. Every day after school, he would run to the forest, hoping to find something new and exciting. The forest was full of tall trees, colorful flowers, and singing birds. But Tim always dreamed of finding something magical. One afternoon, Tim decided to go deeper into the forest than ever before. The sun was still high, and the weather was perfect for an adventure. With his backpack full of snacks and a bottle of water, he began walking along a narrow path. As Tim went further into the forest, the trees seemed to grow taller and the air became cooler. He had never been this far before. After walking for what felt like hours, Tim saw something unusual ahead of him. It was a large, old tree, much bigger than any other tree in the forest. Its trunk was wide, and its branches stretched high into the sky. The tree looked ancient, like it had been there for hundreds of years. But what caught Tim's attention wasn't just the size of the tree, it was that the tree had a face. Tim rubbed his eyes, thinking he was imagining things, but the face didn't disappear. The tree had kind eyes, a big nose, and a mouth that looked like it could speak. Tim approached the tree carefully, his heart beating fast with excitement and a little fear. "Hello?" Tim whispered, not sure what to expect. To his surprise, the tree opened its eyes and smiled. "Hello, young traveler," the tree said in a deep, gentle voice. Tim couldn't believe it. A talking tree? This was exactly the kind of magic he had always dreamed of finding. "You can talk?" Tim asked, his voice filled with amazement. "Yes, I can," the tree replied with a chuckle. "I've been watching over this forest for many years. Not many people come this far, but you are brave, Tim." Tim's eyes widened. "You know my name?" The tree nodded. "Of course. I know all the names of the creatures in this forest, but you, Tim, are special. You have the heart of an adventurer. That's why you found me." Tim felt proud, but also curious. "Why can you talk? And why did I find you today?" The tree's smile faded a little, and its voice became serious. "I can talk because I hold the wisdom of the forest. I speak to those who are truly kind and curious, like you. And today, you found me because I need your help." "My help?" Tim asked, feeling both excited and nervous. "What can I do?" The tree sighed. "The forest is in danger. Deep inside, near the river, there is a large stone blocking the water. The animals and plants need the river to live, but the stone is too heavy for them to move. I am rooted to the ground, so I cannot go there myself." Tim listened carefully. "But how can I move such a big stone? I'm just a kid." The tree's eyes sparkled. "You may be small, but you have something powerful, your clever mind. If you use it well, you can find a way to help the forest." Tim thought for a moment. He wasn't strong enough to move a giant stone, but maybe there was another way. "I'll do it," he said with determination. "I'll help the forest." The tree smiled again. "Thank you, Tim. Follow the path to the river. When you reach the stone, trust your instincts." With those words, the tree closed its eyes, and its face disappeared back into the bark. Tim stood there for a moment, feeling a mix of excitement and responsibility. Then, he turned and followed the path the tree had mentioned. After walking for some time, Tim heard the sound of rushing water. He knew the river was close. Soon, He arrived at the riverbank and saw the huge stone that the tree had told him about. The water was barely flowing around it, and the plants nearby looked weak and thirsty. Tim walked around the stone, trying to think of a way to move it. He pushed with all his strength, but it didn't budge. There has to be another way, he thought. Then an idea came to him. Tim looked around and saw a long, strong branch on the ground. He remembered something he had learned in school about using a lever to move heavy objects. Tim placed the branch under the stone and used a smaller rock as a pivot point. With all his might, Tim pressed down on the other end of the branch. At first, nothing happened, but then the stone began to lift just a little. Tim pushed harder, and finally, the stone rolled off to the side. The water began to flow freely again, and the plants around the river seemed to wake up, their leaves becoming greener. Tim smiled, feeling proud of what he had done. The forest was safe again. As he started to walk back, Tim heard the voice of the tree in his mind. "Well done, Tim. You have saved the forest, and for that, you will always be welcome here. The forest will remember your kindness." Tim returned home that evening, tired but happy. He never told anyone about the talking tree or his adventure in the forest. But every time he visited, he felt a special connection with the trees, the animals, and the river. From that day on, Tim knew that even the smallest person could make a big difference. This is the end of the story.